All right. Well, thank you. Night and day, you are the one beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are, I think of you. Night and day and night. Why is it so that this longing for you follows? I have to say Laura Joy, my mother, inspired me growing up, but I grew up listening to Sarah Vaughan, of course Ella Fitzgerald, and I have to say my favorite was Mel Torme. There was something about the delivery and the smoothness in his voice and the emotion that I still love him till today. I'll have to say that's my favorite. I'm sorry, Ella, but Mel Torme. Growing up in Washington, D.C. was a wonderful experience, other than the fact that at the time we were going through the civil rights movement. I mean, I saw riots in the city. And seeing my mother perform, in spite of all the things that were going on, my mother knew a lot of musicians that would come and performers that would come to perform at the Howard Theater, which is really a venue that everybody who's in the music business should recognize. Al Hibbler was a very dear friend of our family's, and we practically, lived the Green Book experience. Performers couldn't go to the hotels, they couldn't stay at the hotels, they couldn't eat at the restaurants. So we would take in performers and give them hospitality, and it was a difficult time, but it was also a beautiful time. I think the most courageous thing I've ever done was to start this journey. Well, when I first walked into the Capitol Studios, I was just really overwhelmed. I'd never been in a large studio before, and I didn't really realize the gravity of what I was doing. I'm almost glad I didn't, because I'd have probably been scared to death. The musicians and the technicians were absolutely fabulous. They were warm. When I started singing, when they started playing, it melded into a magical, magical time. It was one of the greatest experiences I've had. I think what makes a song a classic is its longevity. I think the fact that they have withstood the test of time, and that I think the younger generation is starting to listen to this music. They're getting bored with a lot of the really popular music like the rap, and they're growing into this music. Music has a lot to say, and they're starting to be old enough to really listen.
It really has been rewarding over the years to watch Josephine progress and mature from someone who would get up at a special event to do a few numbers to now where she can come out on stage and command an audience and an orchestra for an hour. In fact, we get to work with some of the finest musicians in the nation, and inevitably questions come from them, between the rehearsal and the show or after the show, of things like, why don't we know who she is, or why haven't we worked with her before?
People can be doubters. They can tell you and ask you a why or whatever. You have to follow your heart song. You only have a certain amount of time on this earth. Well, I would consider this time of my life a prime time to do what my heart tells me to do. I'm not saddled with any other thing but to do what I need to do. The tunes on the album are very timely, and they're prime tunes, I think. Someone told me something that, if you fear doing something, that's natural, but they say fear is temporary, but regret is forever.